everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again. My original plan for this video was to stop out here somewhere along the line and have the video out with some nice scenery, park in the bush or park by a creek somewhere and start off the video, but unfortunately, as you can see, the forest fire smoke has taken right over. I've got the truck on recirculating the air in here and it still smells like I got a campfire burning in the back of the truck. So I don't want to get out. Not only does it make everything stink, but if you're actually out there, standing out there right now, there's ash falling all over the place. Not hot, it's not that it's going to burn you or anything, it just makes a mess, makes everything gross. And you really, at the end of the day, don't want to be breathing this stuff in. So, unfortunately, back to the garage we go. Alright, so just before we get into the number portion of it, I thought I'd quickly go over just the highways and the mods on the truck, because of course that makes a big difference for this kind of thing. So highway wise, we went through Highway 3. It's kind of up and down a little bit, but the uphill and downhill kind of even each other out. On the way home, you get a little bit more downhill, and you'll see that in the numbers in a sec. I did that up and back. I did kind of slower back road, up and down, kind of zigzagging. Again, not a lot of stuff gets in your way. You keep moving. So it's a slower kind of highway test. And then coming back, once I got through the mountainous part, it's basically just a flat run from the gas station back to my house. So again, I filled up at the station near my house. We ran into a little bit of traffic, which might have killed the gas mileage a bit, but nothing too major. So it'll be close. And then as for mods, because of course that's going to make a big difference on here as well, on the back, if you follow along with the channel, you know we have our iCamper. This is the iCamper SkyCamp Mini 3.0. That's on top, and we've got our RCI 12-inch bed rack to support that tent on the rear. And then, of course, we have our lift. So if you come to the side, we are lifted. We've got the Dobinson IMS lift kit. It's the full thing, front and rear. And to go along with that, I've got these 285 7017 Mickey Thompson Baja Boss tires on black Rhino chamber wheels. And then moving to the front of the truck, we have our CBI off-road covert bumper with the bull bar tucked in there. We've got our light bar and the winch. The winch is probably the heaviest part. The light bar will make a slight difference, but not really at the big scheme of things. But you do add quite a bit of weight with the winch. So of course we got that. And then again on the hood, we have our ditch lights. And on the side, we have our fake sliders. It's just a step. They don't weigh a lot, but it's probably an extra 80 to 100 pounds on the truck maybe. And then other than that, we used 87 octane for the fuel on the way up. I used Esso on the way home. There was no Esso where I ended up, so it was Chevron. And then inside the truck, just a couple miscellaneous things, clothes, sleeping bag, bit of food, water, that kind of stuff. So you can look at maybe an extra 100 pounds, if that, in the truck. And then I was the only one in there. There was nobody with me. I'm driving by myself. So other than that, everything on the truck, like you see here, is what was there. So let's get into the numbers. All right, so we're on the road. Now, if you're wondering, we're doing the test between Hope and Princeton in British Columbia, Canada. It's relatively flat for the first portion, and the speed limit ranges between about 90 kilometers an hour and 110, depending how much you speed. But that's going to be where we keep it. Right now, we're doing about 110. Going downhill, there are cops on this road. This is a long weekend, so they're especially going to be out. But what we're going to do is keep it in that range. Once you get to a little bit more of a zigzag, you drop her down a little bit. But it'll be kept in that range. So we're not going to go extremely fast. We're not going to go extremely slow. And then the road itself has a lot of hills, but the way the hills are is you go up and then you go down. You can see right now we're going down. So we're kind of just coasting. And that's kind of going to even out the gas mileage. And again, we're at highway speeds. There should be no stopping until we get to the gas station on the other end. And then, like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to go on, have my weekend, do my own plans, and then I'm going to fill up at the same gas station that we're going to stop at up here where we filled up, refill up, and won't be too much because I don't go too far from there, but we're going to refill up and we're going to take this same highway back the other way, and then we can go and compare the two back and forth. You can kind of get an average for yourself where you're going to be at. But for now, Hope to Princeton. If you're ever out here, it's a really beautiful drive. I do recommend it. You go through Manning Park, which looks a lot like we're driving through right now. Sometimes you'll see a bunch of wildlife, so keep your eyes open. You don't really want to drive this highway in the winter or in the dark because there is some sketchy stuff out here, but on a nice sunny summer day like this, it's perfect. One other thing I forgot to mention is the temperature. We are in the summer, so it's 31 degrees right now. You can see it's ranged from about 25. I think it was 25 at the gas station. We are only at 12:30 right now in the afternoon, so not quite at the hottest part of the day yet, but it's still warming up. So keep in mind, this test is in the sun, at least on the way up. I'll see how the temperature is on the way back. And because it is this warm, I don't have it on right now, but we did have the air conditioning on just a little bit to cool the truck off. Once you're rolling, I find, at least at this temperature, just the breeze on the outside of the truck seems to keep it relatively cool in here. I am by myself in the truck. There's no other body heat. It is just me, myself, and I. But 31 degrees is what we're looking at for our highest temperature so far. And again, I'll post how hot it got overall in the video once it's all edited together. Alright, so the first pure highway section is done. It's showing we went 129.3K, and the truck is reading it at 12.8 liters per 100, but of course, after we fill up here, we'll test that out ourselves. Alright, so you saw there the first portion of the trip. We went 129.3 kilometers, or 80 miles, and the truck was reading 12.8 liters per 100K. We ended up putting in at the pump 18.48 liters, so if you do the calculation, it actually works out to 14.3 liters per 100 kilometers, or 16.4 miles per gallon. Alright, so test number 2. This is the driving around town, we'll call it. The road to get back and forth to where I'm going for is a lot like this. Single lane, lots of curves, goes up and down, lots of sharp corners, so you gotta take her easy around here. Again, not so much in this spot, but there's quite a few spots along here that are rock slide areas, so you can't stop or anything like that. You don't want to come speeding through, because a lot of days you come around the corner and there is a boulder half the size of your truck sitting on the road. So you got to watch out for all that stuff. It's a much slower road. We're doing like just over 60 kilometers an hour right now, just through the zigzags. It's a not very busy road where I'm going, but again, this will be the test for the test number 2. And then when I come back, again, we'll go the opposite way on this road and I'll fill up at the station again. And then we'll go the opposite of the highway. And then we'll do the final test once we get through that section of highway from that gas station back to home. Alright, so second part of the trip, we are sitting at 52.9. It wasn't that far from the gas station to where I go, but that was the little kind of zigzag. You're really between 40 and 80 kilometers an hour. There's quite a few sharp turns that drop you down. It's up and downhill, but again, that's more of a slow cruise on the highway. 52.9, so we'll reset it right now. We're just in the parking lot of the gas station. We just filled up. So there we go, 0. We're gonna hit the highway, which is right beside me. All right, so second portion of the trip, like I said, a little bit of a shorter run, 52.9 kilometers or 33 miles. The truck showed 13.4 liters per 100K. I didn't catch it on video, but that's what it was reading for that fill up. And at that fill up, we only put in 8.17 liters because of course we drove a shorter distance. If you hand calculate it, it works out to an actual 15.3 liters per 100 kilometers. And weirdly enough, that works out to 15.3 miles per gallon as well. So again, a couple off, not a huge difference, but it does make a difference throughout the whole tank. right, we made it 126.4 in this direction, and the truck is averaging, it says, 10.8. So we'll get home and calculate all this once I finish filling up, but 10.8 is what the truck's saying. All right, so third portion of the trip was the original highway, but in the opposite direction. We only traveled 126.4 kilometers or 78.5 miles. Reason being is the gas station on the opposite side of the highway is slightly closer. So you drop a few kilometers. Truck again was reading 10.8 liters per 100K. If you calculate it out, because I ended up putting in 14.9 liters, you calculate it, it actually comes out to 11.8 liters per 100 kilometers, or 20 miles per gallon. 19.9, 20 miles per gallon. So not bad, but again, the reading on the truck is a little bit off compared to the actual reading. Last but not least, we went another 90K, mostly flat. Truck is showing 12.5. And then, last but not least, was the flat stretch of highway. It's mostly like farmland, basically flat from the gas station all the way back home to the nearest gas station off the highway where I live. It's a few miles off, not a big difference. It's not going to affect the gas mileage too much. 99.9% of this was all highway driven. So, again, you saw the truck was showing 12.5 liters per 100 kilometers. We went 90.3 kilometers or 56 miles. I ended up putting in 10.99 liters, so 11 liters when I did this fill up. When you calculate it, and this is the closest one, is 12.1. So 12.1 liters per 100 kilometers or 19.4 miles per gallon. So flat highway driving, the truck seems to be pretty close. Again, not 100%, but pretty dang close. As soon as you throw in a little bit of mountains and zigzags and somewhere where the truck's got to put in a little bit of effort to go up and down hills, it seems to throw it off quite a bit. So there you have it, guys. You can see the computer is a little bit off. Now, I tried to keep it as fair as possible. Yes, I do live in a mountainous area, so I kind of tried to show you the best of both worlds. The first few up and down the mountains, the second little shorter drive is through the mountains, not really going up or down too much. And then the last and final one there was basically flat, all farmland. Of course, I can't control everything. It was between 25 and 35 degrees. And of course, you get stuck behind traffic once in a while, that'll slow you down. And then just overall stuff. The truck is built like this. You got the camper, you got everything on it. It's all going to put drag and weight onto the truck, which will eat up at your gas mileage. But 20 miles per gallon, cruising on the highway, set up like this, with a few things thrown in the truck, I can't really complain too much. So let me know what your truck's getting. Let me know if you want to see anything else in a test like this. I'll try my best to get it done. And hopefully you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.